Hello, everyone. This is the Insert Title Show, and I'm your host, Wolf Strife. This is episode 10 of the show. We made it. Yay! Too bad I'm by myself, but, the guys are doing okay. I think Oompy's running around with his girlfriend. Blah. Creed is, I guess, at work. He's getting ready to go off to veterinarian school or whatever, which I find kind of funny. But I mean, seeing how he's grown up around animals his whole life, I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. So hopefully we'll have them back in the show in a couple of weeks. But on this one, I just wanted to do something kind of light and fun. So I'm gonna do my I'm gonna list my top 10 favorite albums of all time. So that should be pretty cool. I was originally gonna list my 101 favorite war movies, but that's kind of becoming a pain in the butt. Seeing how a lot of those movies I haven't seen in like 15 years, and then I only saw it once. So I mean, it's kind of getting hard listing all of those. I mean, the first 50 are pretty good. It's the last 51 that are just sucking ass. But I'll probably be the next episode I do next week. So yeah. But this should be a pretty fun one. So let's get to it. Now, this isn't in any particular order. I mean, I know my top two favorite albums. I'll do those two last, but these other ones, they're just all great albums. So let's get to it. All right, this one came out a few years ago by the band Machine Head. It's called Onto the Locust. Now this is just a really cool, really great metal album. It's got great songs like Be Still and Know, Locust, This Is the End, Darkness Within, which is a really cool kind of slow metal song. You can kind of compare it to Metallica's Nothing Else Matters, just kind of that slow start and then it just builds up and gets pretty damn cool. And it's just a really good album. Another good song on there is Who We Are. That's another good song on there. It's just a really good album. And the band's album before that one, The Blackening, was also really, really good. This one only sold 100,000 copies though in America. That's just, this shitty state that metal is in over here. But, that's okay in this current market. But it's a damn good album. I would love to see that band. I'd love to see Machine Head live one of these days. Alright, the next one is Ladderless, which is, I think, Tool's best album and definitely a really good album. Definitely an important album to me and the guys. I mean, it's got great songs like The Patient, Schism, which is our friendship song. I probably have explained that one before, why that's our friendship song. But if I haven't, it's basically me and the guys used to play, Guitar Hero a lot a couple of years ago, like World Tour and Guitar Hero Metallica. And when we played World Tour, we'd always have to play the Tool songs on there. And Schism was our favorite one on there. So yeah, it just kind of became our friendship song and stuff. And, it's just a damn good song. And, one time Impy was arrested for supposedly assaulting his sister, which turned out to be bullshit because, they were in an argument or whatever, and his sister actually bit her own arm and then called the cops. I guess his sister's a, fucking bitch and she's just a crazy bitch, so. And so they come, take one look at her arm, and handcuff him and put him in the back of the police car. And you can imagine, I mean, he's probably pretty upset and scared. And he's only like, I don't know, he's probably only like 17 or so when this happened. And then while he's in the police car by himself on the radio, Schism starts playing. And then when the cops get back in the car, he's just being a smartass and goes, "Hey, can you guys turn that up?" And they're like, "No, shut up." But I just think that's kind of cool because it's kind of like, it's kind of like, because it's our friendship song. It's kind of like saying, we got your back, man. We're there for you. So that was a cool moment. A couple other good songs on there. I mean, basically the whole album's pretty damn good. You got Parabola, Lateralus, and Disposition, which is a pretty interesting song. It's good beach. That's a good beach song, I think. The cover art, like all Tool albums, is pretty cool. They hired the artist Alex Gray, which is he's kind of a spiritual slash psychedelic artist. So he did the cover art for the album, which was pretty cool. The next album is Korn's highest selling album and best album, Follow the Leader. I remember when this one came out. I was in the 6th grade, and my middle school was connected to the high school, so like all the high school students were listening to this album in their cars and stuff. Because I guess this came out like '98, so I would have been 11. So yeah, I was in, I guess, the 6th grade or whatever. So I remember it being real popular with all the high school kids. And it's a great album. I mean, I bought it last year for the first time ever, and it's a great album. It's got the good songs on there are It's On, Freak on a Leash, Got the Life, and a bunch of other ones. This one sold about 14 million copies worldwide, so it's definitely their highest selling album. It's just a damn good album. Next one, Californication, my favorite Red Hot Chili Peppers album. It's got some great ones, including my favorite song of theirs, Other Side. But it's also got Around the World, Parallel Universe, Scar Tissue, which I think is what Anthony Kiedis's memoir. I think that was the title of his memoir a couple of years ago. Yeah, I remember him going around HBO studios trying to get a TV movie made about his life, or based on that book. So I guess that kind of fell through, but it's a good song. And Californication, which has a really cool music video. Well, all these songs have pretty good music videos. Red Hot Chili Peppers usually have pretty cool music videos in general. So, but yeah, Californication one I guess, came out around the same time that Crazy Taxi did. Crazy Taxi, or whatever the fuck it was called. Anyone who remembers playing that back in the, I guess that was like 2000, would enjoy that music video. Because it's basically the band in that Crazy Taxi world, basically, with the song playing, so that's kind of cool. And I think that was also their highest selling album of all time. 15 million copies, so that's pretty damn good. Alright, next album, Back in Black. Definitely a classic, with songs like Hell's Bells, Shoot the Thrill, What Do You Do for Money, Honey? Back in Black, You Shook Me All Night Long, Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution. Just fucking great songs like that. And the crazy thing is, this album came out about 5 months after their lead singer, Bon Scott, died, which sucks ass because, he was a great singer. And in fact, I didn't even know AC/DC had two singers when I was a kid because they sounded so similar, Bon Scott and Brian Johnson. But yeah, I mean, Brian Johnson basically did everything after Back in Black, and Bon Scott did everything before. Like Highway to Hell. It's a Long Way to the Top, if you want to rock and roll. TNT. Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, all those great songs were Bon Scott. So, but yeah, this album was pretty damn good. And the band was thinking about disbanding after that, but Scott's parents, said, keep going. You guys are doing great. And the album was ultimately dedicated to Bon Scott. Now, the album, as of 2011, has sold 50 million copies worldwide. making it tied for the second highest selling album of all time. And it's the highest selling album by a band. Yeah. I guess the highest selling album of all time is Michael Jackson's Thriller. So as far as a band goes, this is the highest selling one, alongside Pink Floyd's The Dark Side of the Moon. And just to put it in perspective, how many copies it sold in America, it's a 22-time platinum album. So I guess that means it sold 22 million copies in America, making it the sixth highest selling album ever in the United States. So, Back in Black is fucking great album. So next we got Black Sabbath's greatest album, Paranoid. You got, one of my favorite songs of all time, War Pigs, on there. Then you got Paranoid and Iron Man. Just freaking three great songs there. The next album is my favorite Alice in Chains album, Dirt. I like the first album a lot, Facelift. It's got We Die Young, and my favorite song of theirs, Man in the Box. But this one's just got just freaking great songs. Wood, Them Bones, Angry Chair, Think Wimpy's favorite, Rooster, and Down in the Hole. It's kind of a depressing album, but a really, really damn good album. So, Dirt by Alice in Chains. And the next one might kind of come as a surprise to people. It's an album by the band Pelican, who are out of Illinois, I believe. And they're kind of new. I think they started around 2000 or so, but this album came out in 2009. It's called What We All Come to Need. And I definitely recommend you check it out on YouTube. It's just an excellent, excellent album. It's an instrumental album for the most part. There's vocals on the last song, but it's mostly an instrumental album. And I kind of like instrumentals a lot, like Joe Satriani, and whenever Metallica does an instrumental, it's always awesome. But this album's got, great songs like Glimmer, The Creeper, Ephemeral, which was actually in it was a credits song at the end of Dead Space 3, and that's actually how I discovered this band, was through Dead Space 3. Specks of Light, Strung Up from the Sky, An Inch Above Sand, What We All Come to Need. I can't remember which one's my favorite, but it might be What We All Come to Need is maybe my favorite song on the album. But I would definitely recommend you, if you got time, to sit down and listen to all those songs, and it'd be great. Alright, last two. Now these are my two favorite albums. My second favorite album of all time is my favorite Metallica album, And Justice for All. Now I know some people kind of crap on the sound quality and stuff, but I mean, I don't care. These are, this is my favorite Metallica album. It's got my favorite Metallica song, Blackened. It's got Injustice for All, Eye of the Beholder, One, Shortest Straw, The Frayed Ends of Sanity, To Live Is to Die, Dyer's Eve. I mean, Blackened is my favorite Metallica song, One. I originally I didn't really love One. I kind of thought it was overrated, but after playing it, 1,000 times on Guitar Hero and just kind of learning the drums on it and stuff, it's definitely, and the subject matter, World War One, and the book Johnny Got His Gun, and the movie and the music video. I mean, just everything about it is just growing on me. So it's one of my favorite songs. And The Shortest Straw is a damn good one. Frayed Ends of Sanity, I think, is one of Metallica's most underrated songs. I mean, it starts off with The Wizard of Oz. Oh, we, oh, 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 we, oh, then it just gets going. Great fucking song. Then To Live Is to Die, which is a song they did to kind of remember their late bassist Cliff Burton, who died on tour when they were doing Master of Puppets. So that's a song dedicated to him. It's an instrumental, and it's just other than Orion, it's probably my second favorite Metallica instrumental. Then you got Dyer's Eve, which is just probably the hardest slash craziest song Metallica's ever done. Eye of the Beholder actually used to be my favorite Metallica song, but it's kind of worn thin on me a little bit, but it's still a great song. But it's a great album, absolutely my favorite Metallica album. I mean, Master of Puppets, I think, is an album better put together. It starts off with Battery, the slow kind of Spanish guitar thing going on. Then it's just dun 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 dun. Then it gets going, and 5 minutes later, dun 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 dun, and then dun 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 dun. Master of Puppets starts. I mean, it's just a great album, Master of Puppets. I mean, it's probably the best album put together wise, because that's kind of the problem with people nowadays. They're not buying albums; they're buying one or two songs and then moving on. Because an album is put together much like a movie or a video game or a book. You have to put it together so that each song works together and stuff. I mean, even the simple act of picking the album's title can be kind of tricky. So, you really need to do albums. I mean, I'm not the best at listening to albums. In fact, I mean, I know this list isn't probably all that great, but there's tons of albums I need to listen to. I admit that. I mean, I haven't done the Pink Floyd albums or the Led Zeppelin ones or a lot of other albums, but as far as I know, this is my top 10 favorite albums list. But Ride the Lightning probably has the greatest collection of guitar solos ever. I mean, the guitar solos and Fight Fire with Fire, Ride the Lightning, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Fade to Black, Creeping Death. I mean, my God. I challenge anyone to go and find an album that has, at the very least, on par guitar solos with that album. It's impossible. You can't do it. I mean, it's got the best guitar solos of all time. And as far as like singing and lyrics go, I mean, you got to go with the Black Album from Metallica. Yeah, that's got to be their best one for that. As far as bass lines go, I mean, you got to go Master of Puppets, I think, or Ride the Lightning. It's Cliff Burton's finest work. As far as best drumming goes for Metallica album, that's kind of tricky because Lars has been, very, each album he's great in, so, it's kind of hard to pick which one. I mean, Justice for All is, he's great in that. Master Puppets he's great in. Probably his most complicated stuff is in Death Magnetic, so, it's, he's just always been great on there. Not to say the other guys aren't, but I'm just saying, which albums are best for each instrument, But individually, song-wise, Injustice for All is the best Metallica album. I know Master of Puppets is the best, well put together and stuff, but I like Blackened more than Master of Puppets, and I like Injustice for All more than Battery. So, that's just how it goes. All right, so my favorite album of all time is Songs for the Deaf by Queens of the Stone Age. Now, I started listening to this album back in like 2003 with my brother-in-law. We would carpool to work together every day, so, we would listen to this album like 2 or 3 times a day. I mean, we did that for like a year. I mean, this album is just so important to me. I mean, I could argue that this is the album that really got me into, checking out music and stuff. I guess you could say it's kind of alternative rock, but I mean, it's kind of heavy too. I mean, the songs on it are, the great. I mean, every song on it is basically great, except for there's this kind of short one in the middle where guys just go, just screaming. Other than that song, every song in this album is great. You think I ain't worth a dollar, but I feel like a millionaire. No one knows. Go with the Flow, which is one of my favorite songs of all time. God is on the Radio. Mosquitoes song. I mean, just every song on there is absolutely great. And when I was looking into doing this episode, I was kind of checking out each album and stuff. And Queens of the Stone Age is kind of a weird band because they always have different people in it. They have guest musicians playing on their albums and stuff. Like on this one, they had Dave Grohl from Nirvana and Foo Fighters. He was a drummer on the album. And I had no fucking clue. I was very surprised for that. And I'm not really a huge Dave Grohl fan. I mean, I'm not a Nirvana fan really, and not really a Foo Fighters fan. But I do love his drumming on this album. Absolutely. I mean, everything's working on this album. So, my favorite album of all time, Songs for the Deaf by Queens of the Stone Age. So, I would recommend you guys listening, just, check out these albums. Now, the reason why I do all these top whatever lists is because, I think it's important. I think it's important to know what you like. It's important to kind of self-evaluate, what you like, and it's really fun doing that. It can be kind of a pain in the ass doing the list, kind of like what's happening with the 101 favorite war movies, but it's pretty fun too. I love doing my top 101 favorite video games of all time. And it's cool looking into why you like something. It's kind of like doing a stupid ass book report in school, They want you to delve deeply into it and stuff, and that just kind of ruins it. I mean, in high school, English literature and American literature. Well, I guess it was more like American literature killed my joy of reading for like 5 years. I mean, it was just that bad. I mean, having to explain chapter 12 of Moby Dick will just annihilate your soul. But, the difference between doing that and looking into the stuff you like is this is stuff you like. So you should enjoy, evaluating why you like this, what parts really stick out to you, what parts have influenced your opinions and your life and stuff. And, that's always cool to do. So I definitely recommend you maybe make a list of your own. That was pretty cool on the last episode when me and the guys just out of the blue did our top 5 favorite songs of all time. That turned out a lot better than I thought it would. Thought I was going to just do mine and the other guys were going to be like, But no, they've grown as people, I think, and, they know what they like. So I definitely recommend you do that too. Just self-evaluate. So take it easy, I guess, and hopefully I'll have the guys on next week. I think what I'll do is maybe just call them and have them phone in or whatever. See how that goes. But take it easy, and this is episode 10. So hopefully there's many, many more where this came from. So. This is Wolf Strife signing out. Rock on.